why are there disputes on the rule of law in the EU? Since 2010, when Fidesz came to power in Hungary, there have been heated debates over the rule of law in the EU. Even before, there were conflicts concerning EU laws and judicial issues. For example, there were disputes over the incompatibility of certain laws in different member states with EU law and over problems in some member states, like corruption or the fight against crime. For example, the EU created a special cooperation and verification mechanism for Romania and Bulgaria to monitor and overcome shortcomings in the fields of judicial reform, corruption, and for Bulgaria, organised crime. The EU considered systematic attempts by the Fidesz government in Hungary and the government in Poland to undermine judicial independence and to curtail civil society organisations, media, and in Hungary, the central bank. Reacting to these developments, the European Commission started infringement procedures against Hungary and Poland, which are usually applied when member states do not comply with EU law. In addition, the EU developed new tools. In 2014, it established the Rule of Law Framework and a Council Rule of Law Dialogue. The Council consists of ministers from the member states. In 2020, it introduced the European Rule of Law Mechanism. This is an annual dialogue based on rule of law reports from all 27 member states. And in 2020, the European Parliament and the Council adopted a regulation that allows the EU to cut funding for member states who violate the rule of law. While all these tools have been applied, there are still serious shortcomings regarding the rule of law in Poland and Hungary. EU actors consider these shortcomings a general threat for the EU. The reason is that respect for the rule of law is essential for protecting all the other values of the EU laid down in Article 2 of the Treaty on European Union. These are the respect for human dignity, freedom, democracy, equality, and human rights, including the rights of persons belonging to minorities. Moreover, the rule of law is crucial for the mutual trust between member states and for the functioning of the internal market. The Hungarian and Polish governments reject the criticism as politically motivated. They argue that the concept of the rule of law used by the European Commission is not objective, but reflects a particular Western European liberal approach that is at odds with national values. They also criticise that the EU's attempts to enforce the rule of law in its member states collide with the principles of national sovereignty and democracy. Finally, they argue that the EU treaties do not define how the rule of law should be realised in the member states. Therefore, member states can individually decide how to organise the judiciary and other things at home. Two governments in conflict with the rest of the EU. What do you think about the rule of law problems?